Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to another Figma review. And today is Figma number 223, Archer, from the anime Fate Stay Night. I know a lot of people have been waiting a long time for this. This is one of those Figma that took a long time between announcement and release, but it's finally here, so let's check it out. So first off, I'm gonna take a quick look at the box, and this box is in a nice shade of grey. Into the window here in the front of the box, you can see the figure as well as one alternate face here, which looks amazing by the way, and his swords. Not much else you can see through there. Around here on the back, you can see some pictures of the figure in action, and it looks absolutely amazing. I do see a lot of Figma, and this one looks particularly good. I'm really looking forward to this one. A lot of figure lines tend to ignore male characters, but Figma is not one of them. So anyway, let's bust this open. See what we've got. The pull-out DI stage segment in here is in a darkish grey. So here's the inner clear packaging. We can see the figure, face, and swords like we've seen already. Down here in the bottom is what you usually get with Figma, and that's the base, stand, alternate hands, the bag, and around here then on the back we've got this part for using with the stand, his bow, and Calibalg too. So let's get this open and check out the figure. So now moving quickly onto aesthetics, and what can I say, this is an amazing looking figure. What strikes me straight away is the paint job. It is so good. The red of the coat contrasts so much against the black of the trousers and inner top here. And there's even more contrast with the white hair as well as the white detailing. Again, as usual, we have that awesome Max Factory matte paint, which looks so good, and in contrast to the metallic silver down here as well, it just looks so good. Taking a look at the head, and you can see this looks amazing. The detail on the eyes here are sharp and clear, and that looks fantastic. The sculpt looks fantastic as well. The minute detailing, like this little zigzag section here on the eyebrows, is fantastic. The sculpt here is amazing as well. The facial sculpt is really good. The neck looks amazing. The ear and the hair all look so good. For hair with a lot of detail and spikes like this, and it has a very minimal amount of mold lines, so that looks really good. Moving down to the torso, and this looks amazing as well. All these lines are perfect and not a bit of paint out of place. Again, the metallic paint looks great with the matte paint. And the sculpt here looks so good. The light falls in just the right way, gives some nice shadowing here and there. That is some amazing sculpting there. Around to the back, and there is a little bit of a funked up line here, but it's so minute, it's next to barely noticeable. The folds here look amazing as well, and really look natural, like they're clasped by this part here and held by it. It looks so good. Again, the detailing and paint looks amazing here as well. That nice silver as well as the matte black and the matte red. The coat back here looks amazing as well. I guess these joints do stand out a little bit, but then again, they play a functional role, and I'll be taking a look at that in articulation later on. They do stand out a little bit, I guess, but that is no big deal. The detailing on the pants here with all the strap looks amazing as well. And finally, down to the shoes here, again sculpted in amazing detail. I can see a joint in there as well, so they can bend. Is a bit of a mold line here that does stand out a bit, but still I think it looks amazing besides that. I just realized you can actually remove this segment of the coat, which is pretty cool. And there he is with that part removed. I suppose one thing you could mention here is the shoulders, as this is meant to be all one piece of clothing. And here it's broken into two sections for the purpose of articulation. To be honest, as this plays a functional role, I really don't see it as a bad thing. Personally, I do think they have made it look pretty good while maximizing the range of motion in this joint. So far so good. This is one amazing looking Figma. So here is Archer with everything that he comes with. So what we've got here is one alternate face, his bow, Calibalg 2, his dual blades, Kansho and Bakuya, as well as 6 alternate hands. Also, a spare wrist joint, and this stand extender. Now a quick look at everything one by one, and first up is the bow. This is pretty damn big. Not much to see here. Nice little detail here at the ends, and the handle around here at the back. It's slightly curved in there. To attach the bow, you just remove this section here. To attach that then, it attaches into the standard Figma holding hands, but one thing you will notice straight away is that gap is pretty small. That handle is pretty thick. What? That is not gonna go in easy. And it's finally in. I know someone's gonna ask, how did I get it in? Because it was pretty difficult, and the only advice I can actually give is to try and warm the hand up in your hands first. So once you've kind of warmed it up a little bit, you kind of have to go in at a bit of an angle like this, trying to squeeze it in under the thumb. It's ridiculously awkward, and then you will get it in like that, and that is pretty much it. The bow does feel delicate though, so this probably won't take too many insertions before you break something. And finally, this piece just connects back on like this. Here is Khaled Balk 2, and this looks very nice. A few different colors on here, some royal blue, silver, gold, a slightly darker metallic silver down here at the end. This very fine blue line moving all the way down this spiral here looks amazing. Very cleanly executed. But one thing I would have to point out here is there is quite a noticeable mold line either side of this. I think that's just made that much worse by the fact that this is a metallic paint and it really catches the light. But besides that, this looks absolutely fantastic. And that just inserts into this hand here, like this. Next up are the jewel blades, Kansho and Bakuya, and I'm not sure if these are the exact same pair that come with the Figma Chiro Emiya, but as far as I can see, they're exactly identical. Here's a closer look at Bakuya, and has very nice silver metallic paint on the blade there, kind of coppery color down here at this end of it, and the hilt down here is in black, with this silver and copper looking pommel down here at the end. Kansho, on the other hand, is pretty much the same up to this point, except this part is in silver and the blade has this really awesome black with a red hexagonal pattern on it. That looks so cool. To attach the blades, they just attach into the normal Figma holding hands, like so. Now moving on to the rack of hands, and we've got two widespread open hands, a left and a right, two standard Figma holding hands, this hand up here for using with the Khaled ball, as well as this other slightly different widespread hand. As you can see, its fingers are slightly bent in a bit. Also, this extension part for the stand, not much to see here really. And last up is the expressions. There's the default standard expression, and this is the alternate shouting expression. So that's it for his accessories, and it's a pretty decent set. So moving on to articulation, and as always, it's from the head down. Articulation at the neck all the way forward and all the way back. Not much articulation there at all, really. Side-to-side motion that can rotate all the way around, and there's a little bit of tilt at that joint as well. Onto the shoulder joint, and there is the arm all the way up, and that can rotate all the way around as well. The bend at the elbow, just a little over 45 degrees there. You'll notice the new style Figma joint in there, and that is the articulation all the way up at the wrist and all the way down. This little section here is actually made out of a flexible plastic, so that doesn't get in the way of the movement too much. Onto the articulation at the waist, and this is probably one of the best points about this figure. It has two joints, one up here and one down here as well. So it has quite a range of motion here. As you can see, top joint, and down here, bottom joint. So here he is all the way to the front and all the way back. So that is impressive. And here's that motion, side to side. And again, that is amazing. So one more time, that epic bow. That is awesome. So articulation at the hip, all the way up to the front. A little bit blocked by these pants here. Oh, here it is, all the way to the back. That's a little better. And all the way out to the side. So he can almost do the splits. Not entirely though. The point of articulation in here, so that leg can twist side to side at the thigh. The bend at the knee, and that's a pretty good bend. All the way up and all the way back at the ankle, so not so much there. And there is side to side, and again, not so much movement. But there is a nice big bend at the toes. You can actually get a little bit of better movement out of that by bending it up that way. But side to side, but directly side to side, not so much. Also a couple of joints in here on the coat, and that can bend up like that, as well as in, and rotate around quite a bit. So I'm sure that will be great for some awesome dynamic poses. I've seen a lot of Figma, but this is the closest, absolute closest to perfection in terms of articulation I've seen so far. If it wasn't for a couple of limited joints like the neck and the ankles, this would nearly be perfect. On to quality, and the quality here is fantastic. As you can see, the paint and detail is very impressive. The use of a really nice matte paint contrasted against the awesome metallic paint as well. It looks really good. Also, the fine details are definitely something else. I have noticed, however, that this little metallic section here is crooked on this particular figure. Going to give Max Factory the benefit of the doubt and assume that this is just a little bit of a mishap on this particular figure and won't be on all of them. On top of that, the joints are just the right mix between fluid and strong. So they just feel really, really good. However, maybe this feels a little too good, and I'm not sure how breakable this might be. But I really don't think there's any reason to worry. As for negative comments on the quality, the only thing I can really say is it has the occasional mold line here and there, but that is it, and that's really not that bad. So what can I say? This is an amazing quality Figma. Too bad it can't look up or down though. So that is it for my Figma Archer review. I always thought this looked like it was gonna be a particularly good Figma, but it was actually better than I expected. It looks absolutely fantastic. The paintwork and the detailing are magnificent, and it comes with a really nice set of accessories. The only thing I would have liked to see extra in there is at least one more expression. As for the posability, it is really damn good, next to perfect. Disappointingly so. Because it's so damn good, I just wish it went all the way. A little more articulation at the neck and the ankle, and this would have been absolutely perfect. So on the whole, this is an excellent Figma. If you're a Fate Stay Night fan or not, I still highly recommend this. This is a good one. It both looks great and it is great. So again, as always, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and come back for more Figma reviews.